Hey everybody, this week for kind of a behind the scenes video, I wanted to show you some music that we're working on. Now, this is actually not for our current film project. I met with Karen Dodson recently and we've done a documentary on her, and she's an amazing person. So she has got this new song that she's been working on, and she brought it to me and asked me what I thought. Because we go so far back, I told her, yeah, let me check out the song and we'll see what we can do if I have time to do it and so on. And so we're gonna put it together because I like the message of the song. And so what I'm going to do is kind of just play you a little bit of this song and kind of show you what she brought me. So if you look right here, Avery, gracias. I asked Karen to bring me the song. And so what she did is she brought me just the straight up tracks that were recorded in her song. So she's got, you know, some drums, she's got her vocals, she's got another guy on here and his vocals, she's got a main groove, so to speak. And so I just basically brought the stuff in here, dumped them here, and then got them. And so I'm going to play it for you. We'll play you some other good versions of this song too, so that you can kind of hear better than just this microphone. But anyway, just to give you a gist. Alright, so I don't know if this was the way the original mix down went or how they rendered their tracks. I have no idea because I wasn't there. But what I looked at is I looked at all these tracks here and thought there's a lot of work that kind of needs to be done. Anytime that we're looking at music or film, I always try to make sure that our vocals kind of pop, whether they're speaking, talking, you know, as actors, or if it's music, that the vocals kind of stick out and find their own space, so that you kind of have these different, you know, imagine like there's a pie and the whole song is the pie. Well, sometimes, you know, basically all the sounds are just kind of blended up into one piece and you can't differentiate the different parts. And so I try to actually cut out, like give them each a little space so that your vocals fill a space, your drums fill a space, different things like that. This is the raw vocal of Karen, just one track, which is going to sound really weird because there's no music to it, but you know, let's just play it for a second.
God has a better life for you with them painkillers there for you. Endure the pain, there's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling like a train.
Pretty much the gist is it's far away, it's distant, it doesn't really pop. There's just nothing to it. It's just a raw, you know, Karen in a booth or a room somewhere just singing to a microphone. So here's what I've added to it so far. Okay, so first thing is that Karen here, she doesn't have any EQ at all. We're gonna loop this so that we can kind of hear it. She doesn't have any EQ. Right now we've just got a basic female vocal line here. There's not a whole lot going on in the bass section of her EQ. There's a little more high notes because, you know, she's a woman, and so she's gonna be up here. So we're kind of like filtering her EQ. So let's go ahead and turn our EQ on just real quick. I guess I can just click this button, boom.
Are you with them painkillers?
So you can see, like, this is her voice and where her range is. And so by turning this off, it's just a little further away. It's very flat. And all of a sudden it's much brighter. It has a little bit of a better feel just by adding an EQ and kind of pulling out her frequency. Plus, you know, when you get the rest of the music, your bass in, then all that's going to fill out this end. You've got hi-hats, snares up here at the top. It's gonna be really good. And then Karen's like carving out this nice little space right here now with the EQ. That's great, but it's still not done. You know, anytime you sing, it doesn't matter how awesome you are, you're gonna have some problems sometimes with the pitch. You're gonna hit just off on a note. So I've added a little pitch corrector. It's just going to do a quick scan and try to land her pitch right on the actual note that she's singing. So if we turn that on as well, it just keeps it from, if there is a little hint, you can see like there's a correction. It's just going to either push it up to a note or down to a note or wherever it's going to be, just subtle. You're barely going to notice it. This will kind of pick it up and push it where it needs to go. Next, we're going to turn on a compressor. So let's play it without the compression.
God has a better life for you with them painkillers.
Okay, let's turn on compression.
Endure the pain, there's a lot
just suddenly it's much louder. So basically we're just taking her signal and we're amping it up, giving it a little bit of extra oomph into her voice. So it's already, you can just tell an immediate difference between
God has a better life for you with them painkillers.
farther away, 30 feet away,
and do the bang.
Now she's right here. And so just doing that is already going to pull her out from the background of the music, which is fantastic. Let's get to the last effect with Karen here. And that is, you know, I hate vocals if you don't have any reverb at all. It makes you sound like you're in space, like you're out there and your voice is just going out into nothing, and so it just feels weird. But if you add a little bit on this, then a little bit of reverb is going to go a really long way. So let's just kind of turn this on. Let's turn on a little bit of reverb. It's subtle. We can turn it way up.
Mercy and glory always rolling like a train.
Too much, but just put a little bit on there. This is just a little bit.
Switching lanes gives us absolute.
Right? So now, if we turn on all of them, let's turn them all off and all back on real quick. So just boom. Now they're all off. So here's before.
God has a better life for you with them painkillers.
Really far away. Let's turn them all on.
There's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling like a train.
Combine all of Karen's tracks together, then suddenly with her effects on, she just is going to sound tremendously brighter and better. So let's check it out.
God has a better life for you with no painkillers. There for you. And do the thing, there's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling like a train. Cutting the evil and the darkness.
Cool, and as the last bit of finesse, what we've done is I've separated them, and you can hear this on your headphones. I've separated her vocal tracks so that if you look at her pans, you know, this vocal track is a little bit on the right side of your headphone, and this track here is a little bit on your left side of the headphone. And so that way when she's singing, it sounds very full, but it's also because it's in different spaces. So not only is we've carved her out and kind of given her own space, but she's also literally given a space in where you're hearing it, whether it's your right side or your left side or how that's going to work. All right, so we've got these drums. Here are our drums. They're all red. You see them all, Avery? And it's amazing what the first thing that we did here is we just gave the drums a quick EQ. So if you look right here, let's just solo them and kind of play this drum track real quick. You'll notice that they're different heights because not all the drums want to be the same volume. You don't want them all the same volume because some things, like the little chime, is not going to be as loud as the snare. So we don't want that. Give them a nice, like, you know, that they feel more appropriate. The little chime is not as loud as the snare, so we've kind of dealt with that. But then we're also carving them in space. We're putting basically our triangle is kind of up, you know, over off to our right side in the mix. We've got the shaker, which is somewhere over on our left side of the mix. The little tam thing is kind of off to the side as well. And the only thing that we really have dead middle of the mix is going to be basically your kick and your snare. I mean, that's going to be kind of like right there. You want it to be full. But everything else kind of has a space. And that way even the drums now kind of pop out a little bit. So we did that. And then we wanted a little bit of extra stuff because just difference, you know, and we'll play a track for you here. When you combine just her old stuff with the right EQs, you're going to get a totally different feel. So we'll play a little bit for you here and kind of play that for you.
Heavy spit, I leveled up, I roll off my tongue, get lit on acres. They try to wrap up the shoot, boy, quit. A thing called being humble, I ain't saying hell, see how the man he said. So crazy, having me wanna jump. Kings be pumped and the money lump. I gotta say it to the world and the society. I gotta say it one more time. Be on a level of Trump.
God has a better life for you with no painkillers. There for you. And do the thing, there's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling. Let me check it out.
Now the vocals and everything are kind of sticking out a little bit more, and the EQ is sounding a lot better, but the song is still lacking. I don't know, it doesn't feel, it feels kind of just same all the way through. All right, so we've got some different, we got a little repeating kind of bass line that we can do here. We've got some risers so that you get this nice little kind of, it's an alarming effect, and if you hear it by itself, it's like, what? But if you hit it, let's see, let's find something that works. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sounds creepy, like something bad's about to happen, but they can come in really handy, and they're actually used a lot more than you might think. We've got some drops. I know, how the heck are we going to fit that into her song? So we got some drops. We got some nice little key lines. Let's see here, where is it? Got a nice little loop here going. That's kind of fun. You can use that a little bit. Also, it wouldn't be a really great song without a women's choir. And last but not least, we've also got like a saxophone. And Karen actually recorded the saxophone guy somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where, but it wasn't processed either. But we've kind of processed it now so that it's going to kind of find a space for it. So we've done a couple things. One, let's give it an intro. The first song doesn't really have an intro. It just kind of, it's like, you know, if I put that in the car, it's gonna scare me, and I'll put the volume on, and just boom, it's like in your face. So we need to give it a little hook, something right at the beginning to be catchy. Let's give it an intro. Yeah, it's already got the little choir. It's kind of fun. There's the riser. Alright, so now we got a nice intro, and so he doesn't just scare us to death when he starts rapping. He's got a mix. We've kind of dropped out some of the other stuff, and that's fantastic. We want to get to let's get to the chorus part. Here we go.
So crazy having me wanna jump. Can you speak punk and the money long?
So we got a nice little feel. It's got a good groove going. Nice bass lines. Here comes Karen.
Beyond the level of Trump.
You can see her little EQ working away. Let's get rid of these. Pitch corrector, compression. Alright, so then by the time we get the second verse, we need to make it pop because we don't want it to just be the exact same thing. Very rarely, you know, even Taylor Swift is going to make her second verse different than the first, so we want to kind of give it a little bit of feel.
What's the point? Optimistic missions, because once it's done, all you can do is tell a story, sit back.
So we got some nice stuff, but we solo it. You got like this deep beat, we got some guitars, kind of giving it a little extra groove. And so. And then also we're gonna add a little drop here in a second, which means we drop everything out but the vocals, because this is really common in R&B music. Taylor Swift, any of the pop artists, Bieber, they're gonna do dropouts. It needs a dropout, so let's kind of give them a little drop and a little boost in the final end of this verse. Drop it out a little bit. And then let's just drop out drums. So we got a little attitude. I like it. The drop kind of makes it feel like, hey, you know, that's a nice little add-in. Makes it feel different. Yeah, we don't want the audience just thinking, all right, it's back to the chorus. Let's just, you know, move on. Let's give them something like a different, like change it again to keep them not knowing what's going on. So here we go. So let's just kind of switch up the song, add that saxophone I talked about, give it a totally different feel, keep it unexpected. And this is way different than the original. But it sounds like suddenly we just went into this total groove. We got Karen kind of bouncing around up there. So it's a nice little outro. It just takes it, it's like, where is that coming from? But you turn this on in your car nice and loud when you're in traffic, and this will mellow you right out in a good way, in a chill way, not in a sleepy way. Anyway, that's just a behind the scenes look at the processing elements of like what it goes into finding space. And just imagine, like, this is only 27 tracks, which is like tiny for a song. If we really wanted to work on it, we could spend quite a bit of time, and like, you know, it'd be 100 tracks by the time we were done. But just to give you like a reference point, when we're doing audio for like Saving Harper Ross, just like per episode, we'll have over 1,000 tracks of audio. So imagine EQing and doing that 1,000 times for a 30-minute show, and no one notices. I mean, if you've done your job right, no one notices. So that would be great. I'm going to have the whole song there for you. You can listen to basically the whole thing and the final process version to kind of get a feel for that. You can watch along, and I'm going to actually record my screen for you to kind of just show you some different things about how the pans are working, the different instruments, how I'm making them pop, and so on. Just showing you around the mixer and stuff so that you can see that. We're going to play that whole song there for you, and maybe even another clip of the other stuff so you can kind of have a quick click comparison of like original, step up, and then the final process version. So just for you guys, because you're awesome. If you have not seen Karen's documentary and her story, it's awesome. And some people out there, it can really change your life by watching it. So we're gonna put a link here. You can click the link and check out her show. It's awesome, go do it. And Karen, thanks again for coming in and letting us play with your song. And I look forward to seeing what we're gonna do later. And for the rest of you guys on Patreon, thank you so much for helping out. All this stuff that we're doing, it takes people like you to do it, and so this is a nice way we want to just show you some cool behind the scenes stuff of like what we're actually doing when, you know, you're off living your life. This is kind of some of the stuff that we end up doing and spending our time on. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
tongue get lit. Hey, kids, they try to wrap up the truth, boy, quit. A thing called being humble. I ain't saying have a see how the man he said. So crazy, having me wanna jump. Kings be pumped and the money lump. I gotta say it to the world and the society. I gotta say it one more time. Beyond the level of Trump.
God has a better life for you with no painkillers. There for you. And do the thing, there's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling like a train. Cut the evil and the darkness. Switching without the switching lanes. Gives us absolute truth. Come on, vision bring matter. Beyond machinery, like Mario level in a different scenery. Come on, boy, you're killing me, believe in me. You see me, don't you now? Pulling triggers. Come on, come on, come on. No, you won't. Yeah.
What's the point in optimistic missions? Cause once it's done, all they could do is tell a story. Sit back and listen. I'm at an age, a point where I can see the world, where I experience thoughts and love the girls. Well, all day, every day, I used to play the 2K. Strolling, rolling, bowling, I experienced real play. My time, I see it ain't what it used to be. Felt like I worked it all up as if I'm a Cree. No MJ, not at all a demon speed. Angel of love, truth, life, defeated catastrophe. Getting system cruising, gotta roll like a boulder. Think when I get older, I feel a little colder. Not using that analogy, no switching the anatomy. Guessing some cruising, gotta roll like a boulder. Just thinking when I get older, yeah, I feel a little colder, beyond a level of Trump.
God has a better life for you with no painkillers. There for you. And do the thing, there's a lot of us. Mercy and glory always rolling like a train. Cut the evil and the darkness. Switching without switching lanes. Here's what's absolute truth. The vision brain matter. Beyond machinery, like Mario level in a different scenery. Let me tell you